Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers help residents in Northern Taiwan clean up their homes following Typhoon Soudelor. Young volunteers at Jing books and cafe across Taiwan put on sutra adaptations at the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Over the weekend, Taiwan was struck by strong winds and heavy rain brought by Typhoon Soudelor. In the immediate aftermath of the disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers in Sanshan mobilized to offer consolation cash and even help residents clean up their homes. In Hengxi District, Sansha residents work hand in hand to clear away the thick mud. Due to the powerful winds and heavy rains brought by Typhoon Soudelor, the river overflowed its banks, which left the nearby community covered in thick mud and debris. Following the disaster, residents moved waterlogged furniture outdoors for a thorough cleaning.
I have been cleaning since yesterday morning. It is really tiring.
To ease residents' anxious hearts and frustrations, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to extend their support in the form of gifts and consolation cash.
Bless you. Our Dharma masters made all the food inside the bag. These products are healthier for our body and are also filled with our blessings.
Of course, I am grateful. The volunteers are here to care for us.
We are here to extend our care and blessings to the residents. We know that some feel tired and frustrated from the cleanup. Besides learning more of their situation, we also gave them consolation cash.
Upon their arrival at a senior's home, Tzu Chi volunteers discovered that she'd had placed all her household appliances on top of chairs. With Tzu Chi volunteers by her side, the senior finally lets go of her bottle of emotions.
The flood waters were so high. Although I kept my bed at a higher level, the water still reached the bottom of my bed.
Besides ripping trees from their roots, the powerful typhoon also left Sichuan borough of Sansha severely flooded.
鱼啦，游到家里面来了啦。哪里的鱼？那个三峡河的吴郭鱼。
While most residents are dealing with the situation with optimism, the Sichuan borough head still sought help from Tzu Chi.
The area around the temple and Qinsui Street needs to be cleaned. A Tzu Chi brother called me and asked if their assistance is needed. I quickly realized that the Tzu Chi Foundation can help us. The garbage truck cannot pass through Qinsui Street, so everything will have to be moved by hand. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Local Tzu Chi volunteers quickly mobilized to help residents speed up their cleanup effort.
Right now, it is past 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the volunteers are still here helping us with the cleaning. I'm extremely moved.
Despite the long hours and laborious duties, Tzu Chi volunteers hope their assistance can help residents return their lives to normal as quickly as possible. Following the passing of Typhoon Soudelor this weekend, drowned trees and broken branches littered the streets of metropolitan areas throughout Taiwan. On Sunday, Tzu Chi volunteers in Taipei and Taoyuan quickly took to the streets on behalf of their communities to clean up the debris.
The fierce winds of Typhoon Soudelor left parks and roads covered in downed trees, broken branches, and fallen leaves. As early as Sunday morning, Sonsan Tzu Chi volunteers were already out cleaning away the debris.
The volunteers said they would be sending people over to help. I said, that's great. We really appreciate the help.
The borough head knows that we are there for him. Together, we are working to get this all cleaned up as soon as possible.
A total of 80 volunteers divided themselves among 5 boroughs in Taipei's Songsan district, including Jiren, Qingchen, Meiren, Changshou, and Dunhua. The parks they helped clean up were also the parks where regular recycling events are held.
We're doing our best to clean up this park, as it will make future recycling efforts here a more pleasant experience.
While in Taoyuan, volunteers helped clean up the debris left by Typhoon Soudelor along public sidewalks near Jingguo Elementary School. Tools and transportation was provided by the local borough head, who thanked the volunteers for coming.
I was looking to clean up the public office first and then meet up with the volunteers. Surprisingly, the volunteers were already here first thing this morning.
The volunteers were also joined by local residents who wanted to do their part.
It is a good opportunity. The typhoon hit yesterday, and as it passed, I thought if there was a chance to join a cleanup effort like this one, I would.
We weren't sure how or where to start, but then we saw the Tzu Chi volunteers who had already prepared tools, so we thought, great, let's join them.
As Taiwan cleans up after the typhoon, communities, volunteers, and residents are coming together in support and camaraderie.
Typhoon Soudelor struck Taiwan hard over the weekend. Things were especially bad in the mountains of Wulai district in New Taipei City. We now hear from our reporter at the scene.
What was supposed to be a paved road is now a mud path. Debris of crumbled homes is carried out truck after truck. In the mountains of New Taipei City's Wulai, the army and search and rescue teams are busy clearing up the mess left by Typhoon Soudelor. In Guishan Borough, Nanshi River burst its bank on Saturday morning, inundating 30 homes up to 1 story deep. As rescuers wade through the water to get residents to safety, one can see that the first floor of many homes has been completely submerged underwater. Thankfully, the water receded by the next day. You can see the mark left by the flood here. The water was higher than an adult. Though residents cleared away their furniture beforehand, mud is now everywhere. And as tap water has been cut off here, they have no way to start cleaning.
It's awful not without water. So many people came and helped clear away all the debris. But a water truck has to be sent here to help me rinse away the mud.
The Guishan Elementary School was also hard hit as its track was turned into a muddy field. Fortunately, its students are still on summer vacation. However, residents were saddened by the sight of their homes and school.
We are heartbroken. This used to be a very pretty school. It only has some 100 students. We were just here exercising a couple of days ago, and suddenly it became like this.
1 person has died and 1 remains missing. On Saturday evening, 10 rescuers from Japan came with 2 search dogs to help with the search effort. At the borough's activity center, 23 people left homeless are finding temporary shelter.
Some of them didn't evacuate in time, while some didn't bring enough supplies with them.
5 kilometers further into the mountains, the roadway has been cut off, trapping 3,000 to 4,000 people. Currently, supplies have to be airlifted. Although the typhoon is now gone, many parts of Taiwan will never be the same.
After months of practice, recently some 300 young volunteers at the Jing Books and Cafe put on sutra adaptations at the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center in Guangdu. In presenting the fruit of their hard work, the young volunteers deeply moved the audience with their sincerity and pure minds.
Among the crowd, Acer's co-founder Stan Shi and his grandchildren have also come to watch the performance everyone has been looking forward to. 356 young volunteers between the ages of 3 to 12 translated the sutra teachings into sign language for all to see.
The master said one has to be familiar with the teachings before practicing them, so these children study hard and practice what they learn in daily life. They show purity of the body, speech, and mind.
The ghost did bad deeds when he was a human. Then after he turned into a ghost, he beat his own corpse.
In his notebook are drawings and notes Liu took from Master Chen Yan's teachings. In addition, young volunteers like Liu are adamant in embracing vegetarianism.
因为爱护地球。
为什么不能吃肉肉？
让身体不好，动物很可怜。
The poor animals would get killed and eaten. If humans got killed like that, they would feel pain as well.
With loud and clear singing, 88 young volunteers presented the musical adaptation of the Sutra's chapter on 10 merits. Over 2 afternoon performances, nearly 1,000 audience members were left deeply moved.
When we picked the kids who would present the chapter on the 10 merits, we chose children who listened to the master's morning talks or join in study groups. They also have to observe a vegetarian diet. Since they are role models, there should be good examples for all other young volunteers. That is why we expect them to have good etiquette. I'm really happy I could bring my granddaughter and grandson to come watch so they can understand Tzu Chi's contribution to society. I'm deeply moved by the young volunteers, and I think such spirit should be passed on for generations.
10 years following its establishment, now more than 1,400 young volunteers dedicate themselves to service and passing on love and kindness.
The master can rest easy knowing that for the next 50 years or generations to come, many disciples will follow her. To mark the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the Jing Books and Cafe Young Volunteers, a book which features the personal stories of these young volunteers was published at the beginning of August. The book not only captures the essence of these young volunteers' sense of mission, but also their gradual transformation through serving others.
New arrivals make its way onto the shelves. A book featuring a collection of stories on Jing Books and Cafe's young volunteers was published earlier this month. Ming Ting, who will be in 2nd grade this year, joined the young volunteers' ranks when she was 2 years old.
Just before she turned 3, an opportunity opened up for her to be a young volunteer. The older sisters at the cafe were very patient with her and guided her. She really learned a lot here.
I'm happy to be a volunteer at the cafe because we get to interact with customers and introduce our Jing products to them.
Since Ming Ting started helping out at the cafe, not only has she become more outgoing and made many friends, with Jing aphorisms as a source of inspiration, Ming Ting often encourages her mother to be thankful for life's blessings.
I feel like she is the one that is setting an example for me to follow. She has taught me to keep my mind pure and untainted.
The book, titled I Am a Young Volunteer, published by Commonwealth Publishing in conjunction with the Jing Books and Cafe, features a compilation of inspiring stories aimed to bring out goodness in humanity.
This book is dedicated to all the children out there. We were all children once, but as we got older and with society and technology constantly evolving, we forget that we should keep our hearts pure and untainted.
The positive effects of serving others have also improved parent-child relations and brought joy and harmony into the home.
The humanistic culture of the Jing Books and Cafe places a lot of emphasis on parent-child bonding.
As young volunteers of Jing Books and Cafe come into contact with religion, many may wonder if it is really good for children to be exposed to religion at such a young age.
When children are exposed to religion at a young age, I believe the positive ideas they learn will help them see things in a different light. They will walk this path with much firmer resolve. They will be the ones we look to for strength.
The book captures the essence and spirit of these young volunteers. From adults to children, readers will be able to find their true inner selves and unveil their innate pure nature.
大家好，这是我们的新书，我是小志工，欢迎小朋友也来当小志工哦。
Due to Taiwan's low birth rate, lesser-known technical colleges and vocational schools must cater their programs to students' needs to increase enrollment. In a way, this has helped these schools re-establish and better define themselves, which also benefits their students.
Once set in place, this vehicle charges off on its own after the countdown is finished, requiring no remote control as it can recognize the markers on the ground. It helped Longhua University of Science and Technology snatch first place at the 2014 Robot Challenge in Austria.
I think this school is fun. You get to take what you've learned and combine it with your imagination to turn it into something real. It's really interesting.
As Taiwan's Centers for Higher Education faces the problem of low birth rates, the lesser established vocational and technical schools must revamp their programs to cater to the students' needs instead of simply publishing research papers.
Students that enroll in schools such as ours perhaps are not as motivated under an exam-oriented learning environment. As they have trouble excelling in exams, they might feel disheartened. But in our school, where we have plenty of hands-on opportunities, they will become more motivated.
Competition-based learning has allowed students to see the fruits of their labor, and vocational and technical schools to re-establish their reason for being. Many remotely located schools are also turning their disadvantages into advantages. Tzu Chi College of Technology is far away from downtown Hualien City. Today, the campus is more festive due to the general interview for applicants. Some students are nervous as failing means they have few alternatives.
If I have to go out of the county, I will have to pay for my own tuition, and then there's the living expenses. So I don't think it's possible. That's why I'm staying in Hualien, where I can also work part-time too.
Eastern Taiwan is pristine and beautiful, but the 300 kilometers long region has only 4 colleges of technology and 3 colleges.
In Hualien, nearly 70% of students decide to enroll in a vocational school instead of high school. However, they are not given as many resources by doing so. So I think this is especially unfair to students in this region.
In this part of Taiwan, there are more disadvantaged families where public resources are more limited. To do its part to rectify the problem, TCCT provides full scholarships to 100 indigenous students every year.
At first, I wanted to go to a med school, but because of my family's financial problems, I applied here instead, as I heard about the scholarship.
Li Chen traveled from Jiayi to study here. Thanks to the full tuition support, he has had little to worry about during his years here. What sets TCCT apart besides its consideration for disadvantaged students is its focus on character building.
Many people might not value the importance of teaching humanitarian lessons, but I think it provides a competitive edge over technical training.
The president of TCCT believes students can only set themselves apart professionally if they maintain a proactive attitude. Strangely enough, Taiwan's low birth rate seems to be helping schools in Taiwan find a newer, more concentrated path to walk towards in the future.
Following the earthquake in April, thousands of Nepalese across the country were left homeless. In hard-hit Bangamati, 80% of the area's buildings have either been flattened or are now too dangerous to live in. To help, Tzu Chi plans on building 400 prefabs for families, with volunteers currently in Bangamati to get a better idea of the conditions there.
Here in Bangamati, the ruins of homes are everywhere. Those still standing are often in danger of falling down any time. Bangamati was one of the areas hardest hit by the quake. Here, over 80% of the buildings were either seriously damaged or toppled, and thus no longer safe to live in. Here to help all those that lost a home is Tzu Chi, along with local volunteers and cash for work participants.
Tzu Chi has taught me to help others. I have found that in helping others, my own problems have slowly disappeared.
Tzu Chi plans to build 400 prefab homes in Bangamati and is already interviewing possible new homeowners. Living in this tent with her husband, mother, and children is Sri Gama, who lost her father in the quake. Shui Gama now spends most of her days looking after her 11-month-old brother and her 7-month-old son.
Our house has been condemned, and now that my father is gone, I have moved back to take care of my mother.
For those previously living on the brink of poverty, the quake only made things harder. Now it is common to see two families or several generations sharing a single cramped home. 29-year-old Becca works odd jobs to support his family. With his father passed away and his grandfather sick, he also has to take care of his mother, wife, and 2 kids.
I'm very, very sad. I know that. What can I do? I'm 1 month. Everything brain is no.
We're checking that in addition to housing, do the residents here need anything else, such as monetary, educational, or material assistance?
Tzu Chi once again is here to help disaster victims pick up the pieces of their lives and find hope for the future.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Johannesburg, South Africa, recently visited a 73-year-old grandmother living in Takane Township. Upon learning that the senior has taken in 14 children, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with rice and blankets to check up on their situation.
As you enter Johannesburg's Takane Township, fences crowned with barbed wire suddenly becomes visible.
Hello.
These barbed wire fences are a common sight here in South Africa due to high crime rates. Escorted by police, Tzu Chi volunteers have arrived at Takane Township to visit 73-year-old Marita Mapupa. Besides bringing rice and blankets for the senior, volunteers also brought toys for the 14 children she has taken under her wing. The grandmother says while some are her own grandchildren, others are orphans she has taken in.
My granddaughter went and told everyone about our situation. She even went to the police and Tzu Chi volunteers.
It turns out Marita's granddaughter sought the help of the local police, who subsequently turned to Tzu Chi for assistance. This family of 15 live in a small dilapidated shack which leaks each time it rains.
Where you sleep? I sleep here. This is my bed.
Is your bed?
Yes.
I want to thank the Tzu Chi volunteers and the police. I only pray that we don't experience any more rain. Thank you, police officers. Thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers.
Bringing help to where it is needed most, the volunteers' gestures have melted away the tension between residents and the police.
I want to thank the police officers for letting us know about the grandmother's situation. Yes, we used to see the police as our enemy, but now we should respect and love our policemen.
In the depth of winter, love has warmed the hearts of this family.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
In California, the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers in San Diego organized their biannual free clinic on behalf of Fallbrook residents. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.